Hey everyone, it's Ray, Two Drunk Brothers Garage. Kenny is on vacation this week. I'll actually be joining him here a little bit later in the upcoming week, but I'm going to go ahead and in just a recent video here, Kenny had pulled the steering column apart. We were trying to get rid of that slop, but I think I got an idea after researching a little bit, so I'm going to tear it apart and see if my thoughts are correct. So figured I'd bring you guys along and once again tearing into this steering column on Goldie. So I got this other GM steering column that I bought to get parts to put to Goldie, and I was testing this one and there's no slop whatsoever on this shaft, and behind that nut, I don't know if you guys can see it in there, there's a bearing in there. And Kenny and I, after discussion, seemed to think that we might be missing that bearing that's right behind that big nut on the steering column of Goldie. Because if you guys go back in the early videos, this was all dropped down. The steering column was dropped out and there was a lot. And this is the slop and it just seems like that main shaft is moving around in there like there might not be a bearing in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tear this apart and see if there's a bearing in there, and if there isn't, maybe I can go ahead and get that one ripped out of that one and installed in this one, and that should, if that's the issue, that should take up that slot. So we'll get tearing into this. Okay, so there's definitely, sorry, it's focusing on my gloves, but there's definitely something missing right there, and I think it's the bearing. Now I got to try to figure out, because the spring on there has that little cup, and that slides down there, and it goes down and it pushes down in there. And the other steering column appears to be a little different. So I'm gonna maybe take a couple quick measurements on these splines, compare it to that one up there on the workbench, and yeah, just see what I got. See if that, because there's not a big nut on here, and I don't see anywhere down in there where it's threaded for that big nut like that other one is. So I'm gonna have to get up there and take that other one apart and just compare them, see if they're the same. If I determine that it is, then I'm gonna have to go ahead and tear this steering column, because I'm gonna have to disconnect that bundle of wires, feed it back up here to get this plastic off. The wires are attached right here behind. You can see a little bit of the wires there. In previous videos we had this all tore apart, but I'm gonna have to drop the column, tear apart everything underneath the dash to get this out, to maybe get down in there and clean, pull that race off. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so this is the spare column that I bought. Obviously the GM columns are a little different. Splines, and then this one goes into threads and that big nut. Everything else appears to be the same, but maybe this was out of a Chevy or a Pontiac. I'm guessing from the guy we bought it from, he had a whole bunch of Chevys, so this is probably a Chevy column. I'm not sure. Now here on Goldie's, it's the thin splines, then the thicker splines, and then it just goes into smooth. There's no threads there, and there's definitely should be a bearing down in there, but this, like I showed you guys already, this moves around a lot in there, and I can see the bearings in there. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see the ball bearings. I'm trying to get the light. You can see the ball bearing right there on the right. That bearing is definitely all screwed up. So I need to do a little research online and see if I can find the actual bearing, and then gonna have to figure out how I got to get it off of here. Okay, while I was looking around in here, I got that bearing race out, and I think what our problem was, all the bearings are down in there, so everything looked pretty good. I might pack some more grease down in there, and then I need to slide that guy back down over there and get it installed. And then I think, looking at the instructions that I have up there on the workbench, so this is the way I pulled the spring out, but I think I need to I think it goes in that way, judging from the directions up on the bench. So that would make sense, that this would hold a little bit more pressure when I get this spring compressed than if that was down like that. So I'm gonna put that race back down in there, throw some grease in there, push this back down in there, and see, because when I was tapping that race down in there a little bit, it does tighten this up quite a bit. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, I got that race back down in there. I threw some grease in there. It's a little tighter. Still got a little play in it, but I'm hoping once I get the spring compressed down in there with that, whatever that is, that catch, I think slides down over like this, and this is gonna go down over there, and hopefully that presses down in there and holds that all a lot better than what it was. But so I'm gonna put it back on time lapse, reconnect everything, get this put back together, and see if this was the deal. All right, success. We have a tight steering wheel. I for some reason now, I don't know what happened, but she's not When she's there, the wheel out there is turned just a little bit. I don't know if you guys turned just a little bit, not too bad. I guess that's not bad. Never mind. Steering wheel is tight though. All it was we had that that metal band upside down where the spring was going down into it instead of flipping it over, and the spring was pushing down tighter, which pushes the race tighter down into the bearing where I greased it. And now we got a nice tight steering wheel on Goldie. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, and yeah, it's a good thing. All right, everybody. We got another little thing taken care of on Goldie. That steering wheel tightened up. It was kind of a weird drive when that thing's wiggling a little bit, but it's nice and tight now. Everything's back together. Fought me a little bit, but hey, everything fights us. So cheers, everybody. Cheers, Kenny, on vacation. Hope you're having a good time. Ray, Two Drunk Brothers Garage. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all that. Hit the notification bell. Let's let you know when we release a new video. We try to get one out every week, even if it's just something simple like this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, brother.